All right, that is live. Yeah. Yeah. If that means anything, probably don't.
Halloween candy the kids can find.
Huh?
Looks like all the Halloween candy.
No, I don't have any kids coming with it.
Yeah, no.
They didn't like, haven't wanted it to transfer system.
What's good, people?
Evening, Tim.
Boy, I work on this year. I work on this I guess this is. Oh,
No, it's all right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You tell Andrew next time he comes down from Maine, if you don't bring your lobster, I'm gonna leave.
No, they're pulling the boat. Fuel and bait is more than what they do for fun. You can only get good for us now.
Yeah, I like it 6 o'clock. I do too. All right,
6 o'clock, so call the meeting to order. First up is modifications to the agenda. Anybody have any modifications? If not, we'll move on to approval of meeting minutes for November 10th, 2025. Anybody have any suggested revisions?
The only one I have is under citizens' concerns. It says Will Jones paraphrased a phone conversation he had with Donald Dupree. The phone conversation was actually between the town clerk. It was you, Deb, you took that call, right?
Which call was this?
That was the one about the speeding on Suter Road.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
I took that call.
Yeah, that was a conversation between her and Mr. Dupree, not me and Mr. Dupree. That is the only one I have.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I might, like to just propose good meeting protocol under Robert's rules, and I would move to approve the minutes and need a second, and then it's open on the table for discussion.
Yeah. I know that's the way things are usually done, but we don't always follow that, but
All right, it's your meeting.
rarely.
I would move to approve the meeting minutes from November 10th.
Okay,
As amended?
At this point, yes.
Okay. I'll second that.
okay. Any other discussion? Oh. Yeah, and I should have said this before, but Hannah couldn't be here. So is anyone willing to keep the minutes? If not, I will try.
I'll keep them. Are there any objections?
Well,
Under Vermont law, the only person who can't keep the minutes is the chair.
okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, I don't have any objection.
Okay.
No, I'm just concerned because of, there's a couple of times we haven't gotten them posted
Yeah,
within 5 days.
The November 3rd one, I'm still working on it. I was set to do that, and then we had all the stuff with the roads go down, and that became top priority for me.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Thanks for volunteering, Will.
you're welcome.
If there are no other revisions, all those in favor of approving the minutes of November 10th, 2025 as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? 5-0. Okay. Budget discussion. I realize we didn't ask for a presentation tonight, but do you have any additional things that, items that have been finalized on the budget?
Yeah, we can walk through
Okay,
what I have.
Okay.
I don't think we've finalized anything on the budget.
no, I don't mean
Okay.
finalized, but,
So I can walk through the budget and the numbers that have been filled in, and then tell you what I'm still looking for. And
okay,
then next Monday, it'll be projected.
Yep.
So that everyone can see it and the board can approve it.
And next Monday, will we have actual to date or some date closer than the end of the third quarter on where we are in the budget?
Well, yes, so the copy that I'm working from,
You have it.
I have
Okay.
up to the 15th of November. So next Monday, it'll be through the 30th of November.
Okay, that'll be good.
So I'll start with the fire department because that one is easiest. So the question still on the table. Nothing in the budget that was sent forward by the fire chief has changed. The only conversation still is his suggestion to have a line item for capital improvements in the fire department's budget, and his suggestion was to start with 25,000 for this budget cycle, which would be used to start a capital improvement fund for future improvements to the fire department building. So the question on the table is $25,000 the number, or is it a different number?
The intention is 25,000 annually to bank into a kitty for improvement projects.
So, right, because in the near future, it will be, not near, 5 years maybe. It'll be a new furnace and there'll be repairs to the roof.
Okay. And sort of related to that, the number, and I forgot to write it down, that Colin sent to us for the replumbing, to get pipes out of the space where they
It
freeze.
was like 7,400 or something.
$7,260.
Say again?
$7,260.
Yeah, 7,260
I didn't,
from Harris Plumbing and Heating.
I've used them.
I should have asked Colin that, but is he proposing that happen this month, or that be on the new budget?
Right.
Yeah, the new budget.
So, I do not believe his intention is for that to happen in budget 2025 unless it's coming from a different budget. There's no money in the fire department's budget for that repair. So it could be 2026 and could fall under the capital improvement line item, and then the remaining balance be transferred to a reserve.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I was just wondering, because hopefully if we postpone it till 2026, we do it pretty early in 2026 so we don't have any frozen pipes.
And then roof repair was an issue for the fire department, and there was a really big bill for replacing the roof, but I've never seen one that was for patching or repairing.
Right. Yeah, so I don't,
But we should definitely have some money in there for that. I think it's gonna be a bad situation if they don't do something, but I don't know that I'm in favor of replacing the roof. That was a large cost.
yeah, it was 80 some odd thousand, I think.
But how repairable is it? I don't know.
Is it an asphalt roof?
No, it's a metal roof, I believe, standing seam.
I thought those lasted forever.
Not this one apparently.
I think there's just a section that needs to be repaired.
Not a full $80,000 repair.
No,
The fire department members told me all it needs is a little bit of repair, it doesn't need the whole roof.
That sounds.
So Sue, were you suggesting that it should be?
I'm challenging the $25,000 number. All we have right now is the plumbing number of 7,260. I'm just bringing up the fact that I do believe there are legitimate roof repairs that should be made. How much they cost, I don't know.
How much they cost and is it the roof leaking? How urgent is the?
I was trying to find the email that we got with.
I don't think it's an
roof
immediate need,
replacement.
and I think that that's partially the 25,000 to
Put
start
some
the
money
fund.
ahead.
Yes.
Yep.
For future repair.
Unknown at this time.
Right. So it's to start building up a fund as, other fire departments have done for improvements.
I like the idea of money in the bank, but at the same time, that money in the bank is a lost opportunity to do something else with the money.
Well, it depends what it's allocated for, right? Generally with reserve funds, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you have to have, not necessarily governing documents, but it has to be designated for a specific purpose.
So in the past, it's been a warrant article at town meeting to have the taxpayers authorize that the dollar amount be transferred to a reserve account for a specific reason. Also, if it's a budgeted item, specifically saying capital improvements to fire department building, it can be transferred to the reserve for that specific reason.
Right, so if we say it's a capital improvement to the building, it's not like he can put it towards a new vehicle, it's just for the building.
Correct. So it would be transferred to the reserve under capital improvement fund for fire department building.
So Sue's question was, what's the number? And if we're looking ahead, we're looking at, I don't know, maybe somewhere between 10 and 20,000 for a roof repair and a furnace replacement.
Oh, the furnace replacement.
What-
So that's not in 2026. So this
The
would be a
furnace?
fund, right, this would be a fund that would start. So think about a 5-year plan.
Yep.
And so this would be a fund that would start a reserve account for future needs. So the replacement of the furnace is not an immediate need.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm
But
just
they do
wondering,
know it's coming though, that's the concern.
do they have an estimate for when they think a boiler needs replacing?
No,
When we're talking about a furnace, I presume it's just the boiler, the whole heat distribution system doesn't need to be replaced.
right.
What's a boiler cost? 10,000? That would be a good number for a boiler, depending on the size.
And depending on what year it is and what the cost of things are
Yeah.
increased. So his $25,000 number was just a starting point. And so that's just a decision the board needs to be making, if 25,000 is the number, or if it's a different number.
Did Colin make mention of any potential maintenance issue coming down the road, not boiler or roof related?
No, just that we're gonna do the pipe repair using those funds in 26.
I hate to ask this question, but heat tape isn't worth pursuing in the light of a $7,200 plumbing relocation.
I believe that is a question best answered by the professionals. That is not a me question.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's the only estimate that we have.
Now, when I look over the reserve funds from like past town meetings, there's one for building maintenance that at the end of last fiscal year had a amount of $23,994.
That's the highway department building.
That's highway, okay, that's highway, okay, perfect.
Is there an annual fund accumulating for highway department?
There is a building maintenance line item in the highway department budget each year. It's been at 25,000 since I took over. So if whatever is in that line item that is unspent is transferred to the reserve account. So yes,
And-
it does exist.
That number right now is 23,000, did I hear that right?
23, it's almost 24,000, it's
That
like
was just
23,994.
I mean, that was just last year though. There was also money in the reserve account prior years.
Okay.
So
Nothing major was added last year. That was just interest accrued. It looks like in 2013 there was, or 2023, excuse me, there was like 14,000 added to
We
it.
did not vote at town meeting to move it
in what year?
last
The year
year.
before?
Last year, yep.
Marcel, I'm sorry, say again?
We did not have an article to move that money over.
This year we did. In 2025 we did. The
We had the
previous-
surplus,
Yes,
Sure.
the sur-
not,
You're saying not the specific line item, just the
Not-
surplus?
yeah. But we didn't have much of a surplus.
If I'm understanding correctly, this 25,000 proposed fund for the fire department is a new line item,
Yes.
so it'll have a negative impact upon the tax rate. Do we know how much that would be in general?
We don't know the tax rate yet. So at the last meeting, I think it was if you put the 25,000 in the fire department's budget, it's about a 20% increase. But there was a discussion at the last meeting about it being in the fire department's budget as opposed to another budget, because it was for the fire department's building.
What is the entire town operations budget?
Unknown at this moment, because we haven't talked about it yet.
Last year's was 1.4
Okay,
mil, yeah.
close or 1.4 decimal points?
Well, 1.4 million was last year's. I mean, I feel like it's safe to assume that number's gonna go up slightly just because inflation.
Right.
if you assume, for the sake of argument, 1.5 million, you know, $25,000 out of that is roughly
1.8%.
yeah.
So is 25,000 the number, or is it a different number?
I think my opinion is 25,000 seems like a reasonable number. I don't know, but I guess in saying that I would want to, like any of these numbers, well, not any of them, some of them, you don't have a lot of choice, but on something that is kind of a new item that I guess it could change depending on what the overall, the whole budget is, you know, if we're
Right.
go-
So there's two things. So next week, when everybody sees the budget projected, y'all could decide no. Or the taxpayers at town meeting could decide no, because they can strike a line item from the floor.
I'm not opposed to the number 25,000. I think there are probably enough with the furnace, the roof, and this $7,000 plumbing repair. I think there's enough to justify that number, but it would be up to each select board each year going forward to decide whether or not there were projects in the hopper that would warrant continuing at that level or reducing it or increasing it. Like it would be, that would be an annual check on the board.
I'm fairly comfortable with that language. And by the way, the percent increase on the 25,000 on the budget is 1.6667.
So I'm comfortable with that number, knowing that they have a number of repairs.
Yeah.
And you never know when that furnace is gonna go. I mean, that's an unknown.
Odds are it's gonna go in winter, because that's just when,
Well, that's when they go, because that's when they're in use.
that's when they're in use, yeah.
Lee, any?
No, I agree.
Okay.
That's fair.
So
So I
we're
just-
comfortable with that 25,000.
I'm
Okay,
comfortable
perfect.
with
So
that.
that means that the fire department's budget is complete then, so the
No.
total,
I would, I have a new fire truck loan payment.
yes.
I know that he wanted an increase there. What do we expect that the new fire truck loan is going to be?
So we don't know.
We
We
don't
are
know.
going out for 3 quotes for 3 local banks. We know it's going to be 275,000 at some interest rate, but we'll be bringing those quotes to the board to decide.
Right. What did we have as an estimate a couple years ago when we gave them permission to purchase the fire truck?
So I would guess the $48,000 number that is in there, because we thought the truck was going to be delivered this year, and it has not been.
And the other thing, I remember we said that the sale of the current fire truck that this one is replacing, and we had an estimate, I can't remember if it was
100,000.
50,000,
100,000
100,000, would go as a payment on the loan.
would go towards the purchase price of the new truck.
Okay,
Yes,
all
As
right.
in down payment?
purchase price, yeah.
So have we spent that? We can't spend that until it's sold.
So
So
we haven't
that's,
sold the truck,
that's a
so we don't
future,
have
right.
that revenue yet.
right.
But the taxpayers only authorize up to 275,000. So that's the only loan amount we can get is up to 275,000.
Okay. So you assume it was 48,000. What did he want to raise it to this?
So it's a 5%,
2026?
it's a 5% increase, so it's 51,308.25. I imagine interest rates are not going to be favorable at the moment.
6%, 10 years, 275,000.
That's if you can get 6%.
That's just what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're looking at a $3,053 one payment.
Okay, because his intention was to hopefully have extra so that he could be starting a new vehicle fund, correct? He knows that other vehicles that he has are going to go through the same 7 to 10 year cycle of needing to be replaced. And that's the money, right?
So I think that's a future want. I don't think that that is a want that's in the budget for 26. it's something for the board to think about for the future purchase of a new truck.
How much did we put down, 145?
How much have we paid already?
Yeah,
Yeah, for the chassis.
and 275 loans, so that's only 410. So we're gonna have to use whatever we get in trade-in to pay
Correct,
the balance of that truck off.
correct.
Mm.
And
Let's
then there's,
still have 48,000 this year we can move over, which we haven't used yet, so.
and there's 24 that was ARPA.
No, that's all been used, that was used to pay the down payment.
Okay.
And there's 86 in the purchasing fund,
Correct.
ready to move it.
So this year's 48,000 can be applied to that.
This year's 48,000 will be transferred to the purchasing fund.
Okay, I'm okay with that number now then.
Okay. So we'll tackle the town budget. I did have a number. Let's see.
Real quick before you do, I'm sorry to interrupt, but what was the total number again for the fire department budget once we plugged that 25,000 in?
$181,008.25.
Thank you.
Sure.
25 cents.
So I did receive the appropriation number from the DV's Memorial Library to plug in. They are at 35,500, which represents a 5% increase in their appropriation ask over last year. So, with everything, in its place, the town budget, is $577 and $8.92.
I'm sorry, Heather, again?
$577,008.92.
This is for the town office, not including the library, or including the library?
That includes everything, so all town departments, everything.
Wait, what was the number again?
$577 and $8.92.
And that's town clerk, town treasurer, assistant, library.
That's all town offices. So we're talking zoning, planning, development review board, cemetery, listers, auditors, like the whole town function.
Okay,
All the individual.
but you have them by
appropriations.
line item,
Well, yeah, I mean, they're by department.
by department.
Correct.
And how much of the increase is that?
I'm gonna give you that magic number in 2 seconds.
Okay.
Just a sec. That is a 6.6% increase.
And that's not with a wage cost of living.
Correct, no wages, no wage increase in this.
So what are the wages for the town clerk, let's see, town clerk's office wages, which on last year's annual report would have been Schedule H 25. The 2024 actual wages was 114,647.50.
Mhm.
But the 2025 proposed budget was 130,482.80. Do you know if we're gonna be at that 130,482? What's your November number say that we're at for wages for the town clerk's office?
So the mid-November, we have spent 131,394.76.
And do we know why that was such a big shift from 2024?
All the work with FEMA.
So we won't have that next year, the
Well,
FEMA work?
no, I still meet with FEMA once a week until the projects are closed out. And I'm assuming that's gonna continue in 26.
All the way through? barring no further.
Your guess is as good as mine. Any project over $100,000 needs to be approved by the top.
But I'm wondering if the work you're doing for the 24 disasters will continue through 2026 to close them out.
I would imagine.
So the proposed 2026 number is what? What's what do you got?
So are
Just
you,
wages. I'm just looking at wages, not
Okay,
the
so-
benefits or any of that.
all right, hold on then. So the number I just gave you is not correct. Okay. Because that was the entire town office number.
Yeah, I was just looking for the town clerk's office, which was Schedule H in last year's report.
Okay, so wages right now are 103, 521.87.
And you have another month and a half to go.
Correct.
So it's gonna be much closer to the actual of 2024, which was at 114,647, than the budgeted 130,482. True.
Could be.
And what is the proposal for 2026?
So budgeted full-time, town treasurer, town clerk, 163,959.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
You need to budget for a full-time position for each one because they're up for re-election.
Yes.
Okay, so that isn't just wages, that's benefits.
No, that's
No,
just
that's
wages.
Wages.
They don't get a cost, they don't get to increase their
No.
wages.
No. But you say we need to budget for full-time
At the current hourly rate.
at the current hourly rate. So currently, we're not, between you, Deb, and Marcel, the three of you aren't two full-time people?
We're the equivalent of two full-time people.
Okay, so I guess I don't see how it would be that high.
So before I was appointed and elected,
Yeah.
the treasurer was a full-time position.
Yeah.
The town clerk was a full-time position, and there was a part-time assistant as per state statute.
Okay,
I thought Jessie was the town clerk / treasurer, and she had the assistant Donna.
And Steve was there.
Yeah, I have their,
Okay, so what is the issue we're trying to solve here?
what the wages, I'm not even getting to the benefits yet, what the wages should be for the town office.
Okay, so is the board saying that they would like to have only a part-time treasurer in 2026?
Or a part-time town clerk.
no, my question is, when I asked the question about the three of you,
Mhm.
between the hours of the three of you, the average, I realize they vary a little bit.
Mhm.
But the three of you are equivalent to two full-time people?
So the town clerk works 34 hours a week. And I typically am between 12 and 15. And Marcel works probably 20 or more. So
So it isn't quite two.
But
it's a little
it's
over
two-
two.
But we call full-time 30 hours a week, so it's really,
Oh.
it's two plus, it's two people.
So once again, I'm just asking, what is the problem we're trying to solve?
The increase in the wages of the town clerk's office is what.
That's where I'm landing too.
Okay, so full-time town clerk, full-time town treasurer, two elected positions. The assistant treasurer, assistant town clerk is an employee.
Which
So
you don't need if you've got two full-time.
you do by state statute.
Statute, I have to have an assistant. I have it, if you'd like to read the document, I can tell
Does
you.
it dictate how many hours you have to have an assistant?
It's 24 VSA 1170 that states I have to have an assistant.
But it doesn't say you have to have an assistant at 20 plus hours per week.
It just says I have to have an assistant.
That wouldn't be the
That makes
treasurer
sense,
itself, would
because
it?
if something happens to you, there needs to be a backup. makes
Right, and
sense.
there's days that if I didn't have Marcel, I would get absolutely nothing.
Okay, so where I'm coming from here, in 2021, when the office was the way it used to be, the wages, I'm not talking benefits, I'm just talking wages, which in last year's report was called Schedule H. I'm sure that Marcel probably came up with that because he had everything nicely explained. But in 2021, the wages for the town office was $75,497.86. When we went to the new people in 2022, which before you was Candace, but also you that year, and Heather was appointed as well. Marcel was also hired. It jumped 53% to $115,686.20. The next year, I was on the board in 2022, and we ran into this dilemma of what if Heather and Deb are not reelected? We need to bump it up. In that year of 2023, the wages, just wages, jumped to $121,072, which was only a 4.7% increase over the previous year, but it was a 60% increase from 2021 when we had Jesse, Donna, and a little bit of Steve. And then in 2024, when we didn't have the bump up because you guys both were reelected, we went right back down to 114,647, which was in line with the 115, which again, remember, was still 50% more than we had paid for the town clerk's office before. And then in 2025, the budget was 130,482.80, which had we spent that, but Heather has just explained to us, no, they have not. But had they spent that, that was a 13.8% increase when the 2025 cost of living was 2.5%. So that was a $15,835 jump from 2024. Now you're asking us to go from the 130,482.80 that looks like it isn't met, that we're probably back down around the 115, 116 area. Now you're asking us to go with 163,959. And I haven't done the percent jump increase yet, but it's huge, I'm sure.
For 140,
And it's more than twice what we used to pay in just 2021, just a few years ago.
So
And I'm not even talking about benefit, just wages.
I don't know what Jesse was making for an hourly rate. I know what was offered to me was the same thing that my predecessor had.
Right. Jesse wasn't making what you make, but Jesse was getting health insurance benefits.
Right.
But I'm just saying that even with an election, which I'm hoping that both of you run unopposed and that you're both reelected, in the case that you are not, I just can't see paying $163,000 for the town office. It's too big a leap. It doesn't make sense. We're always concerned about the creep in the highway department and the fire department, but I mean,
As far
That's
as I
where
know,
the
Heather,
big-
there's no cost of living raise in our salary line item, correct?
but we can talk about that later. I think that there should be. I think that you guys should have the cost of living that we're gonna discuss later.
The $163,000 number for 26 also includes the website employee. I've moved the website management line item, so because when you pay,
But that's only like $1,200. The website. Website management?
right,
Yeah.
but that's moved up above as
The
well.
other thing that should probably be moved, but I think it's too difficult, is the board administrator.
Is in the select board line item.
Right, but here's the thing. When I gave you the number from 2021, that's $75,497.86. A couple of that $1,000 that we now pay Hannah was always done by the town clerk. The town clerk was always the secretary for the select board. But you're the first one that has not done that. So I'm just saying that I'm willing to talk about having to include some benefits if you guys are not reelected, but I'm not willing to go that high up on the salary.
the percentage increase is 14.75.
Over the 130, or over the 114 that they actually spent in
No, over
2024?
the, 142,873, the actual 24.
No,
Middle column.
114, that's the wages.
Heather,
114.
do you have my?
Oh, the proposed is 130, I see, okay,
160?
around that.
Are you at full-time and me at 20?
Well,
See,
I'm
that's
the
the,
treasurer.
that's the problem. If you don't get reelected, I don't come back. So then that 160 gets dropped by whatever I got. So now you're back down to in the normal range.
So if I am not reelected and you leave, a treasurer cannot do this job in 20 hours.
No,
There's no way.
we had trouble doing it in 30 hours.
Yeah, I wasn't just, I'm coming at it from a different perspective. I just didn't understand. I didn't understand how it would go from 130 to 163.
And they're not even at 130, that's what
Because
the
you've
budget
got,
is.
you've got 2 full-time people and you've got me. Okay? We don't have, if somebody gets reelected, I'm not coming back.
Okay, so in that 163, there's 2 full-time people
And a half.
plus a half. Oh, okay, I get
So
you.
as I said last time, you budget for a position, not a person, right? So you have a town clerk that's full-time, a town treasurer that's full-time, and a part-time assistant that serves both the town clerk and the town treasurer. So you have 2 full-times and a part-time.
In the full-time that you're calculating is based on 30 hours a week or 40 hours a week?
40.
40?
You've lost me here. I thought, Heather, you said you work approximately, what was it, 12 to 15 a week? And Marcel is about,
Weeks where there are meetings or budgets or FEMA, it's closer to 20 hours a week.
okay, but it's still not full-time.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I currently serve 20 hours a week. That is what I was appointed to and elected to. And I have Marcel, who works at least 20, if not more, hours a week.
Mhm.
But I'm budgeting for a position.
So why does
Not
the
a
town
person.
have to hire a treasurer who will work 40 hours a week? Why can't we say
Because
we're
you
hiring
can't
a
do that
treasurer
job in 30 hours.
who works 20?
You can't do that job in 30 hours a week.
So the only reason
But
it
that's why we
works,
have you, Marcel.
okay,
Well,
the
you're not
only
gonna have
reason,
me very long.
the only reason it works right now is because Marcel and I work together with our skill sets.
Mhm.
If I am not in this position, Marcel is not here either.
Yes,
So you're going to.
but you
need
added him
full-time.
in money-wise. He's in, you've calculated his hours.
Well, somebody would
That's
be there
163.
because somebody would have to, at least, there'd have to be at least another person to assist the town clerk.
By statute, yes.
And that
So
person,
you're budgeting for 30, 30, and 20? Is
No,
that,
she's got 2 40s and a 20.
oh, that's right, you said 240s.
I'm
Yeah,
budgeting
that-
for a 34
Budgeting for a 34
and a 40,
and a 4.
because the treasurer's office with everything that needs to be done has to be full-time.
And 20 for the assistant.
You could cut the treasurer down to 30, as an assistant.
Could,
There's no statute that says we can't dictate that the treasurer is less than 30 hours a week that makes them not a full-time person.
the board has the authority to do anything they want. However, I'm telling you, the job will not be done. There's no possible way.
But then they have to hire an assistant.
Well,
Yeah,
you
but who's
better,
gonna work?
I know, I was gonna say, you better hire a grants manager while you're at it. Because there's no possible way.
And if somebody's gonna run, they're gonna want benefits, and to have benefits, you have to work full-time, and per, VLCT, full-time's 30 hours.
So I can budget the treasurer's position at 30 hours a week. If you wanna see what that number looks like.
I want to take actual numbers and raise them from there. I don't want to make an assumption that both of you guys are going and the people that are coming in, who says we have to pay them what we pay you? The person who comes in, if you don't, might not have the experience to warrant the pay that we
Good
do.
luck. Just to go through Limerick.
Yeah, I mean,
Now, I would like, I'm interested in your number for 30, if no one else is.
I am too, but Sue, on that point, if you're drilling down to the hourly rate, what is, like, do we know what a going hourly rate is for a town treasurer in similar towns in the area, or?
But let me
In Vermont
interject there,
broadly.
Will, as well, that if I'm understanding the conversation correctly, the person in the treasurer's role would best be able to also manage grants.
that's the way it's set up now.
Aside from FEMA disasters, is grant management still a necessary part of the treasurer's tasks?
It's a necessary job of someone.
Somebody in the office has to have that skill every year.
I mean, I would suggest.
I mean, how much grants have you gotten this year so far?
So we just applied, I just helped the fire department apply for their 5th.
Yeah,
We have one for the highway department this year, and we'll have one other one we'll apply for.
And wasn't it last year,
so
close to $500 million that you brought in on grants?
$500,000 came in because of that grant management.
Yes.
Arguably, that's money well spent then for the grants management talent.
So if you, budget the treasurer's office at 30 hours a week, it's about $6,000.
It's about 6,000 less.
Yes.
Wait, 6,000 less a week?
No, $6,000, so 163,959 minus $6,000. So you're at,
156 something.
157.
We were at
915.
115 in 2022, 121 in 2023. And I think that the increase was because we basically added a slush fund in 2023, not knowing who would be elected. 2024, we were back down to 114. 2025, we budgeted for 130, but what you're explaining to us with currently being at 103 is that we're probably right back in that 114, 115 range.
I think it's.
okay, so we have budgeted 133, 282.80. In the middle of November, we had spent 103, 521.87. So we have 29,760.93 left in that line item for 6 weeks.
Wages? I thought you just told me that at mid-November, you're at 103, 521.87.
That's what I just said. So there's $29,760.93 left in the line item.
we're gonna be on the budget.
Yeah, you're gonna be well under budget.
But the reason that, I think this is my understanding, is that if you're not the treasurer, then somebody who is elected treasurer, a full-time position would be at least 30 hours to get benefits. And
But they would probably cut assistant hours in order to have the extra 10, right?
yeah, probably.
I'm just saying that whoever would get it should have to work to the budget.
Well, but we ought to calculate the budget based on what we think we need, 30 plus 34 plus a part-time assistant to both.
But you gotta remember that 20 hours, I'm also doing delinquent taxes, I'm also doing HR,
That is true.
I'm doing a lot of other things. I did all the FEMA work, which should have been done by somebody else, but I ended up having to do it all. And that's a lot of my hours last year.
So when the town a couple years ago rolled the delinquent tax collector role into the town office, that got absorbed as part of the regular duties of the assistant treasurer? That's what the
No,
town
I'm
voted on?
a-
No, Marcel was elected.
But I don't usually break my time out. I've started breaking my time out now.
But you also have to consider when Marcel got elected, delinquent taxes, he gave up that 8%.
Yes, so that's additional revenue to the town. The 8% fee.
Heather, I'm new to the budget process because it's my first year as an actual select board member here or anywhere, aside from working for the village for 15 years in Hyde Park. But can I get back to basics for a second? What is changing this year that's increasing the budget over last year?
So you're budgeting for a position, not a person.
Which we didn't do last year?
No, because I was there.
They're gonna.
Oh,
She wasn't up for reelection.
they're both
And that's the
up for
only change
re-election
here,
in
we're just-
2026.
contingency.
Right. But I maintain that whoever gets elected has to live within the budget. And I'm not against raising it from the 114 or 115. But over twice what we paid in 2021
The
is just
budget for
it's too far.
2025 was 133,282.80.
Oh, I wrote that because you're adding in the website management, because I had 130
No.
or 8280, but you've added the 12304 website management to get 130.
No, 133,282.80 were the wages for the 3 town office people. The website management was in a different line item. For 2026, I rolled all of it.
I'm looking at the annual report. Is that incorrect? Page 25.
You've also got to figure that if the town clerk that gets hired, if it's not Heather or somebody else, if they can still do grants, or if they're gonna have to find a grant manager to do it.
I understand. The town has a question in front of it. They ran unopposed last year and they both got in, but we
They don't
made,
mean it's gonna happen again.
it doesn't. I understand that.
So you will remember that the budget that was printed in here was the incorrect version, remember?
I don't remember.
Okay, that was brought forward at town meeting
Okay.
by one of your select board members.
Okay.
So I have the actual.
But I-
my
but I-
budget in front of me.
So I have the wages that were printed for 2024, and those were 114,647.50, correct? Schedule H.
So because I remember from that town meeting when the number was changed, so there's a change in this wages line item that's reflected in the new number?
Okay, so the incorrect version of the budget
Yes,
was printed
yes.
in the book. And so the correct version was available after the fact. And that is this number here that I'm working from.
Budgeted number. Because I have the actual for 2024 was 115,827.50. That has 1180 for the website manager that I didn't include in my numbers.
It does seem, I don't know, maybe an argument you're making is if you have a treasurer that's 30 hours a week and Deb at 34.
Or someone different, she's saying, could be.
Yeah,
anybody.
yeah, okay, someone at the treasurer at 30, the town clerk at 34. And if we put in the assistant at 20 hours a week, that's 84 hours a week. And I think what you said before is 34 hours for Deb currently, 12 to 15 for you. Say, let's call it 15 and 20. Is 20 a good average, Marcel, for you, or is it usually?
Usually it's less, but
But
lately it's been-
even if you
Lately
use,
it's been 20 because I've had so much catching up to do from FEMA.
But even if you take it at 20, 15, and 34, that's 69 hours we're budgeting for. And now we're talking about budgeting for either 94, if it's 40, 34, and 20, or if it's 30, 34, and 20, it's 84. So budgeting
Right.
for 15 more hours. I'm just thinking that well, it might be hard to hire anybody if you kept it the same number of hours. If it was 30, 34, that's already 64, and we're averaging 69 now. It'd be hard to hire somebody for 5 hours a week. Is that what you're saying?
If 2 other people were elected, shouldn't they still have to live within the number of hours and budget that the select board says that we're paying for a town office?
Yes, they do, but you gotta be realistic. Are you gonna be able to, if you want to budget for the same number of hours, you're gonna be able to hire an assistant at 5 hours a week? I don't know.
So let's do it this way.
Okay.
How many hours do you want the town clerks? Now, keep in mind, the town clerk and the town treasurer are elected officials, so the board actually has no control over their hours, what they set or anything like that. So,
Well, we do have control because we control the budget. So yes, we do control. We have some control.
what number of hours would you like the town clerk's office open during the week?
Right now, it's the 32 hours, right? And then she comes in a little early each day to
28 hours.
28 hours.
8:30 to 3:30 and 11 to 6.
But you,
28 hours, I come in
Early.
half an hour, 45 minutes to an hour early every day in the hopes of trying to get ahead.
Mhm.
It doesn't work, but yeah.
right.
Okay,
So
so,
there is a minimum.
so how many hours a week would you like the town clerk's office budgeted for?
This is assuming the
34.
same pay is kept, the same hourly rate is kept.
Yes.
Our pay isn't any different than any other towns. I've already done the research.
34. That's the number of hours. If that's what Deb is averaging, that's the average that I'd like to see the new town clerk have, 34.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is make notes so that next week the budget number. Okay. Treasurer's office, how many hours a week do you want
40,
budgeted?
40 total, which right now is approximately 20 for you and 20 for Marcel, but 40 total. So if someone comes in and says they are the 40 hours all by themselves, which isn't a great idea, clearly, but why would we increase the number of hours?
And then the assistant position, what number are you budgeting that at? How many hours?
That has to be with the 34 hours of the town clerk. If they don't get it from you with the 40, because.
So you're saying you're budgeting for 2 positions and no assistant?
If the town treasurer doesn't want an assistant.
But the clerk has.
Yes, yes, and the office is open 28 hours and we're budgeting for 34, that gives her 6 hours a week of assistance. I don't expect that this is how it's going to play out, because I think we may run into the same thing that we did in 2023, and that you guys are unopposed and you both return.
I think you would have a very hard time finding an assistant to work 6 hours a week.
It's not gonna be me.
I think maybe the real answer then is 74 hours total. Because that's where we are right now, right? 40 and 34, 74 hours?
So would you
And I'm not
clarify?
counting the webmaster.
You said you work 12 to 15 generally
Mhm,
as treasurer.
mhm.
Extra hours for grants management,
Sometimes, depends on what's going on.
is that part of this hours per week discussion we're having right now?
If you looked at payroll every time it comes out, you would see that she's averages about 20 hours a week or less. And Marcel's the same. Together they make pretty much one full-time 40-hour
Mhm.
position.
If it isn't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Heather, you said you work 12 to 15 hours on average every week. I'm confused why we're talking 20 hours for the treasurer's position if you're working 12 to 15 hours a week.
Because she can work 20. Things happen, FEMA happens.
That's what I want to know.
So during FEMA, I worked closer to 30+ hours a week. If there's a grant report that needs to be done, if there is a grant that needs to be applied for, it is closer to 20+ hours a week.
Through this year, your position is budgeted at approximately 20 hours a week?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
So my agreement is up to 20 hours. I guess I'll ask again, what problem are we trying to solve?
Keeping the budget reasonably under control.
And furthermore, just understanding what goes into each line item.
So I think the question is also, do you understand, does the board understand what a town office does? Like what the town clerk does, what the town treasurer does, what the assistant helps do?
I mean, I
Administrative
understand the
town.
roles as defined under statute, but if you
Okay.
care to elaborate.
No, I'm just asking.
And we see your work product. We see some of Deb's work product, but we see yours and Marcel's when we sign the warrants and the payroll.
Okay, so,
That isn't even hardly anything of what I do.
yeah,
To give you an example of my day today, I make a list every week of things I want to accomplish. I accomplished nothing today between emails, phone calls, and people coming in the office. I did no land records, I did none of my election stuff, I did none of my marriage certificates, I have a backlog of births and deaths to do. None of that got done today.
And you'll catch up a little bit tomorrow when I
I
do.
will catch up a little tomorrow.
And when I have to sit there and reconcile 22 bank statements in a month,
Mhm.
do you know how much time it takes me to reconcile 22 bank statements in a month? When I've got people using credit cards, debit cards, I have to chase receipts around. And then if Heather's not around, I've got to do the payables, I do the payroll. I do all the HR.
and currently me, so AP, cash receipts, meeting with FEMA, grant reporting, grant applications, budget to actuals, pull audio files off the camera to make sure that they're uploaded to the YouTube channel. I mean, so there's lots of things that happen behind the scenes that you don't see as work products.
It might be helpful for me to understand what hours you're actually suggesting the positions require.
If it's not me and it's not Marcel, you're gonna need a full-time person plus an assistant for the office.
Are you saying 30 hours a week or 40 hours a week?
It's closer to 40 hours a week.
So 40, and,
So 34
yeah,
is the town clerk's office.
now, but are you saying that would work for next year as well?
If it was me. I mean, next year's a little easier of a year because I don't have 5 elections. You know, I mean, everybody seems to think that I show up at town meeting and it's a 12-hour day.
Yeah, it's magic.
Yeah, you have no idea what happens after
No,
and before.
I can appreciate it. Okay, 34 hours.
If you're going to an elected treasurer that does everything that Marcel and I do, it's gonna be 40 hours a week.
That you and Marcel do. Okay, isn't that what the board has been saying? 74 hours?
And you,
But I need I by state statute have to have an assistant.
And you have to have an assistant for the treasurer, because the treasurer's full-time, she's gonna have vacations, you've gotta have somebody who can fill in, do payroll, do everything that she does.
Well, hang on. Deb, are you arguing that the assistant you're required to have by statute has to be independent of the assistant treasurer?
Yes.
I'm not sure I read it that way.
I mean, Marcel is doing both for us right now.
Some towns have the town clerk and treasurer are the same person.
Correct.
So Barnet still has that, Danville still has that. We had that up until Jesse resigned.
No, you had Steve Eddy as your treasurer,
Mhm.
and you had Jesse as your town clerk, and you had Donna as their assistant.
Okay. And that was 2021, when the office budget was at 75,000 instead of the 114, 115.
And they all took benefits.
And they all took benefits, which is why we've been able to offer higher salaries too. But at any rate, I'm not comfortable with 160 or whatever. I would like to go up from actual, I was actually hoping to realize the $3,000 cost saving that we said we were gonna get from going from weekly pay to bi-weekly pay.
I don't know who came up with that number, but it wasn't me.
Oh.
It still takes me as much time.
Oh, we assumed it was from you, right?
No, I didn't say anything, Sue.
Where did we get that from?
I don't know, but it wasn't me.
Where'd we get that from, Ron? That's the
I
number we,
calculated based on how many hours you said it would save. How many hours it took you a week to do payroll?
Yeah.
And so I think it was 3 hours, I think is what I remember, times 26 eliminated pay periods times your hourly rate.
Yep, but this hasn't worked out very well because the boys' timesheets are crap. And I've gotta chase everybody around. And by the time I get stuff on the board and doing everything else, I'm spending as much time. A time clock would be very beneficial.
Okay. Let's bring it back. Town clerk, off position, 34 hours a week.
Yep.
Town treasurer position,
20 hours a week.
you're never gonna get a part-time town treasurer.
Then we won't elect one then.
And then who's gonna do that work? I'm just curious.
I would think you'd have to budget for at least 30
Okay. And then an assistant.
to assist both the
The-
treasurer and,
Well, at least assist the town clerk per statute.
what do you got a number?
20 hours would be nice. Somebody was here 2
You don't
days
get
ago.
20 hours now because he's doing a lot of treasurer stuff.
He's doing both at the same time, but just having him here 2 days a week when I'm here, alleviates a lot.
You don't understand the phone calls.
No, you have no idea.
How about,
People calling, complain about roads.
Oh, you'd be amazed at the phone calls I get. What are the flags at the end of my driveway?
As an attorney, I can
Why
appreciate
aren't the ramps out at the boat launch? I mean, I get all kinds of phone calls. When's our next election?
how about 34, 30, and 20?
Okay.
I don't know. What is,
Heather, can I
That's
just get
still-
down to brass tacks for a second? I presume you are willing to serve again if elected.
Undecided at this point.
after tonight?
Okay, after tonight,
Let's
like
give you a
tomorrow,
week.
you'd be like, okay, wash the bad taste out of my mouth.
This has absolutely nothing to do with me. This has to do with budgeting for a position. That's all I'm asking.
Okay, but let's say,
What is the number of hours you want an elected treasurer to work? That's all I'm asking.
sure, but let's say we allotted, and I'm just gonna pull this out of the thin air, we said treasurer's position gets 40 hours a week.
Okay.
And you're elected back into the position, it's still 40 hours a week. doesn't that mean you're sitting on a big creamy pile of hours then?
It's a padded budget that's not needed at that point.
I'm just asking what hours do you want the treasurer's position to be? That's all I'm asking.
But if we're budgeting for that, then that's what the budget's going to be, right?
I think considering you took the position with it being up to 20 hours per week, why can't we say that that's what it is? That the treasurer position is up to 20 hours per week.
That's fine. And then what are you gonna do for an assistant?
And that would be the other 20 hours.
What if we were to split the baby and call it 25 hours for the treasurer position?
Well, so right now, they're telling us we're at about 74 hours or so
I'm
per
following
week.
that, yep.
And I put a number here that said it could be like 80 hours a week, which is 6 more than what we currently spend.
That's sort of where I'm coming in then.
But I don't know how to divvy that out, whether it's half and half, I don't know. The salaries are very different.
Well, for what it's worth, I'm inclined to take Heather's point that a grants manager and an experienced treasurer, if it wasn't Heather, we had to find a replacement for the position. I'm not sure, but it feels to me that would be a tough position to sell to somebody under the current allotment.
How about 34, 30, and 16 for 80 hours?
I'm sorry, where were you?
34, 30 for the treasurer and 16 for the assistant. I don't know. I'm just so we can move along,
Yeah,
trying to find something that's,
28 hours for the treasurer and 20 for the assistant.
well, I was trying to make it because
You want
if somebody, I wasn't trying to make it full-time, but if somebody runs for it, they probably want full-time. I don't know.
They want full-time and benefits.
That's right.
And you don't give them benefits till it's 30.
30 hours, right.
That's why I went with the 34, 30, 16. Well, the 16, I know. I had it 10 before, but I'm not sure that 10 would do it.
Oh.
so that's 80.
That's
That's
it.
that's the 80 hours that I was at.
Mhm.
Okay. That okay?
I feel like I could live with that.
Well, wait.
No objections here.
Come up a little higher, but that's not, that's fine.
Heather, do you have a way to calculate what kind of
So the line item would be 154,861.92.
What is it?
154,861.92.
Without cost of living.
34 hours for a town clerk office, 30 hours for a town treasurer office, and 16 hours for an assistant.
Without cost of living, which I think we're gonna vote on tonight.
Okay.
is the, in your opinion, Heather, the 30 hours for the treasurer important as in a full-time position?
154, but I'm.
You would, yes, budget for a position.
What happens if it's you again? Can we finagle behind the scenes and 28 hours for treasurer and
861, 92.
20 for the assistant?
We will, the office staff will work within the budget, as I hear is what needs to be done. There is one other change. I did talk to the zoning administrator when we were in the office together, and he said that he did need an increase for 2026.
Wonder why he told me he didn't.
I do not know the answer to that, but I had a conversation with him. We looked at his hours up until now. We looked at what he thought was going to be happening in 2026, so he is asking for an increase to 12,500.
And he's at 11,000 what right now?
So he, after I pay his bills that are there, he will be well over budget by about $2,000. So
But-
he'll
But his
be,
current budget is 11,000 something, right?
his current budget is 11,000
Even,
even,
and he wants,
12,500 for 2026.
okay. He told me he didn't think he'd need one because he spent a long time correcting the messes from earlier.
What position is that?
Zoning administrator. Okay. Any other bad news?
So total town budget, supporting all, offices are 567, 215.92.
567,9.
567, 215, 92.
Again. 215,92. Okay. What's next? Anything else under town, or are we on to highway?
Just to, that doesn't work very well. So, that represents a 4.7% increase to,
That was my question.
And that's before any cost of living raises.
yes. Highway department. So I did have. I took the two current employees and the newly hired employee, and did the wages on a straight 40 hours. So that wage increased 179, 460, 480.
460, 80.
I did have a question about bridges and guardrails and whether that $2,000 number was gonna stay the same for 26 as it was for 25, or whether it was gonna change.
Okay, so bridges and guardrails, let me find this in mine here. Yes, he projected the 2,000 was gonna stay the same.
Okay.
Now, the amount that we're gonna end up paying for Mad Brook, is that gonna be in this year's or next year's?
So I have the FEMA portion for the Mad Brook Bridge in the budget for 2026.
So that should be added to the highway department, whatever we have to dish out for that bridge.
Yeah, so I have it as a line item in the highway department right now. Yeah.
I've seen that in years past for like similar grant projects where it's been like a separated thing from like the recurring. From what I recall from last meeting, you had that at like 57,825 was our portion.
That is our portion
Okay.
for the Mad Brook Bridge.
Yeah.
Now, in theory, there's going to be more portions in 2026 with yet unknown projects that FEMA pays out, but it's kind of a wild card at this point. We don't know what those projects are gonna be.
And we have to use the FEMA money that does come in to pay off our loan.
But yes,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Are we paying? Maybe you just said that, but do we need to pay for the Mad Brook Bridge in this year?
We have the bill right now.
So interestingly enough, I put the bill through AP last week and y'all approved it, but the conversation still needs to be had about where that is, where that money is actually coming out of.
Okay.
Was that an erroneous approval?
I put the bill through and it was approved.
I'm not following
We
that.
haven't paid, the check hasn't been mailed yet because we need to have a conversation about where the money's coming from. But I processed it to make sure that it fell in this 2025 because the contractor is expecting payment.
Okay. Do you have a proposed area that comes from? Do we have to borrow money, more money?
Well, we don't have enough in the line of credit to cover the whole thing, so we gotta figure out where the rest of it is gonna come from.
And that was the 231, 300 J McDonald.
So,
Heather, when do we usually have to pay the school?
by the end of December?
Okay.
You mean with the tax money that came in?
Yep.
Yeah, by the end of December. Michael's gonna start sending emails very quickly.
Well, that's what I was wondering, 'cause I know it's in the general fund right now.
Okay.
And we still have, that would still probably leave us over $1 million in there, so. Hopefully, if we use the money out of the general fund, then we might get some refund, we might get some money from FEMA at some point to replace it, so.
One would hope, yeah. Yeah. So I think there's no other line items. I did put the line of credit interest payment, here as well. That's $45,600 a year right now.
And we put that in the highway department?
I just put it here as a placeholder for right now. There was one other addition.
That's a line of credit that we're required to maintain.
No, that's the line of credit for FEMA
That we use to pay for all the roads.
that we use to pay for repairs.
We're paying interest only.
Yeah. And that's in anticipation of FEMA, making us whole or semi-whole.
75%.
75% whole.
75%, so we're still gonna end up with the $200,000
Yeah, I
we're
think I
gonna have to
remember
pay off.
being upset at paying that much interest a year, but it's unavoidable if I'm hearing this correctly.
Well, the town didn't have $1 million kicking around to make the repairs, so.
Well, we could have done a lot of it, but we would have used all our, we would have used all our reserve funds.
Maybe we need to start a fundraiser. We're a 501, aren't we?
No,
We are not actually
Oh, is that right?
we're a government entity.
government municipality.
Well, shoot.
Okay.
So there also is a line item, there's a management fee for the insurance, monthly. So that comes to $1,440 that I stuck.
That's $40 per policy,
Per
$120 a
person.
month.
So I put that as a line item here for now. It can be put somewhere else, but since this was the working budget,
It should be near the health insurance somewhere.
right, so I have it in that right now,
In the insurance.
in the payroll and benefits, in the highway department budget.
Yeah, that's the best place for that, I think.
No, I was just wondering why it wouldn't be under health insurance. Isn't it part of the cost of health insurance?
It's a fee paid to the broker. I just put it in the health insurance section of the budget.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I missed,
Okay,
wasn't here.
I put it as a placeholder.
Okay.
The broker here being Colin, correct? So did we use him in years past?
We've never had a broker, but since I've been here.
Okay, so that's essentially the fee that we paid him to give the presentation, but also to,
Manage the accounts monthly.
That's the fee that he's charging us monthly to do all the paperwork.
To manage the policy.
okay, whereas before that would fall on the town office.
Yep.
Okay.
If everyone's all set, I want to go back to something that Marcel said earlier about the surplus of the highway department that the town meeting voted on using the highway surplus towards the town garage repairs. And you said that's a small number.
Yep.
But I'm looking at the 2024 annual report on page 28, and the budget, the 2024 budget was 728, 825.37, and the 2024 actual was 616, 560.82. That looked like a surplus of 112, 264.55 to me.
Yep, and then there was $75,000 for gravel that was pushed into 25, and there was $48,000 worth of sand that was pushed into 25, so there was no
But
surplus.
that was paid for with $2025. So it essentially became 2025
If
and
you
not
want to, you're gonna end up with
2024.
you're gonna end up with a negative number in 2025, so you're
Right,
gonna have no budget, you're gonna have no surplus.
but the budget that people at town meeting thought that they were voting, that we thought that we were voting $112,000 surplus.
There was no number
Yeah, I
there.
was gonna say, I believe it read surplus.
Yeah, red surplus. I
Right,
don't
but
see
then,
it.
but then we had this page that showed what the budget was and what the actual cost was, and we assumed, at least
You assume.
I assumed, that's the surplus. Well, I think that's very deceiving to the town,
Well,
if that's not what it was.
the pages have to go to the town report and not all then those bills came in after the fact.
Right, but they were paid with $2025, so we're gonna
No, they're
pay
actually
the
paid
piper in 2025.
Paid in 2025. There were 2024 bills.
Yes, but we paid them in 2025.
Yeah.
So it's gonna
2025
reflect on the 2025 budget.
Yes.
So out of that, it sounds like there's another reserve account for sand that was set up as a result of that, or is it all lumped in the gravel
No,
stockpile?
that's gravel.
Okay, so the 82,675, that was only from 2024. That didn't include what was put into it that went unused, or that is what went unused?
That got put into gravel surplus.
I'm confused. So you're saying gravel surplus, that's the same fund as what I'm seeing in budget as listed as gravel stockpile?
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
That's in the reserve account, that's been
Yeah.
something that's been growing
yeah,
for years.
yeah.
So that fund has always been there. So
we
there's-
could always take that money out and against that 75, and then you'd have more of a surplus.
Offset it.
Okay, so essentially, but
We did
essentially
not
that,
use it. We use general funds instead of taking money out of the reserve account. That's where it was paid from.
okay, so after all said and done, we've paid the gravel bills for this year.
For 24.
For the ones 24 that we then settled in 25.
Yep.
What is the actual number that's in that gravel stockpile account right now?
I
Yeah.
can't,
Do
I
you have
can
that
tell
number
you.
up there? So the reserve account is one fund,
Hmm,
and we have a spreadsheet. So we
Okay.
track what we call buckets.
okay,
So, every month there is a calculation done for interest, and so that's what he's gonna go get.
okay. But to your knowledge, no money was expended out of that reserve fund for this year, or it was? No money was expended out of that reserve fund.
Not that I'm aware of.
Heather, just help me catch up. 2024, we had, you said gravel expenses that were paid in 2025.
Mhm.
Do we have 2025 gravel expenses that we're paying this year or get rolled forward into 26?
So a lot of our expenses for 25 with gravel were FEMA. So they're being tracked in a separate chart of account
Okay,
specific for FEMA.
okay.
I will tell you, let me just look at that. So the payment of the gravel, the 24 bill in 2020 is reflected in 2025.
Okay.
And with other expenses, that line item is over budget in the middle of November by $39,402.97.
Okay, good news for us there.
So,
Yep, bad news for us there.
but, so I believe that that line item is budgeted for 26 at 75,000.
Yeah. Yeah, that was to reflect the need to crush again, and we estimated the same amount from 2 years ago when we last crushed, or 2 fiscal years prior when we last crushed.
24, I think we budgeted $45,000 for gravel, and we moved it over.
75,000.
Yeah, there was 45,000, it wasn't. We spent 30,000, so
Yeah.
there was 45,000 left in that account.
Yep.
So I moved it over to the reserve fund.
Okay.
So there's $127.
There's 127,864.49 in the gravel stockpile.
Okay, so we could essentially, from a cash flow perspective, cover our entire crushing of that.
If that's what the board chooses, sure.
I think that's still a little
I sort of lost track of where we are. I know we're in the highway budget, but I don't know.
So with the numbers that I have, so no wage increases, just at current rates of pay. The highway department budget currently sits at $848,562.08.
So, okay, so that's with the wages at the 174,000 number you quoted. I'm just confused, looking at my budget, what I'm missing, because mine I'm getting 807.
Yeah.
And that,
You have the Madbrook Bridge piece in there?
yes, that includes Madbrook Bridge, and there was a $6,000 grants and aid match line item as well.
And you have the line of credit interest,
Okay, what's that number?
45,600.
There it is. There it is.
That's included in that number. So the Madbrook Bridge, the 231,300 that we talked about, that's in the 2026 Highway Department budget? No, just the 45,600 loan interest, FEMA loan interest.
The Madbrook Bridge that's in the highway budget for 2026 is the town's portion of the repairs.
Oh, which is, what was the dollar amount on that?
57,825.
57,825. Town's portion. So 90, 102, 103,000.
budgeted this year.
So that actually shows a reduction in the highway department budget.
No.
If you take out 57,825 and 45,600,
Oh, so your, would be the cost savings for the equipment loan payments, one that's paid off this year and one that only has 4,000 payoff for next year.
Wouldn't it be in the best interest of the board of having a 5-year plan to continue making payments to yourself, so that when you need a new dump truck at $500,000, you have some money set aside?
So currently with the way the highway department budget is sitting, it's a 15.8% increase.
15 point what?
8.
but with the 57,825 and 45,600 FEMA things that aren't really highway, that's where we're putting them because it's, makes sense to have them go somewhere, but it's, I can't compare it to the 2024 and 2025 budgets.
I think I hear
We're
what you're
adding
saying.
$103,000 that's not specifically the highway department.
You mean that's
To
like
compare
not,
budgets.
you mean that's like not regularly budgeted?
Right, I
items.
can't compare an apple to an orange.
It would be like, yeah, it would be like going back historically through the highway department budgets of the last, say, 20 years.
Which you did.
And looking at the spike in 2011, 2012 and wondering, oh, what the heck are we doing? there?
Right,
But that
this
was
is gonna
the
be a
May
spike.
flooding and Hurricane Irene.
Yeah, this is gonna be a spike.
Yeah.
Because my numbers are saying that it's a decrease over the proposed budget of 2025, if you took those two items.
Well, if you take them out,
Yeah, if you take them out,
But
it is,
it's-
but
they're in there because
Yes, but I'm just saying, if you're comparing apples to apples, you
Yeah.
need to count those two things.
Yeah, but you have to add back, you should add back some money to pay for a new truck. Because at some point, you're gonna have to replace some equipment.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
which would entail the creation of a reserve fund.
Well, we have a town equipment reserve fund right now, so.
Yeah.
Town purchasing, whatever.
Okay, so that's the town purchasing fund.
Yeah.
Okay, when's the last time we expended anything out of that account?
Probably
how do we
last time we bought a
contribute
dump
to it?
truck.
Well, last time we bought that 1 ton, we traded in 2 vehicles and paid the rest of it in cash out of the general fund.
Yeah, we just didn't use it.
How do we contribute to that fund? Is that a highway department number that we put
Yep.
in every year? Where can I find that, Marcel?
It'd be an equipment appropriation.
Equipment.
Probably haven't done
We
it
don't-
so many
Well,
years.
we haven't done it since I've been here.
It hasn't been
So
done.
the only thing that's been added is interest year over year.
It hasn't been done since at least 2021. That's what I have in my thing. I don't even see that as a line item, so. Because back then we had all the payments on the grader, the loader, and truck 6 and truck 7.
So we just have $4,400 left to pay in 26 on,
And we also ought to be setting some money aside for the highway garage. Even though we don't know how much that's gonna cost. It is a highway department expense.
It really does need to happen in 2026, considering we've kicked that can for years now.
Yeah.
We wait till it falls down and build a new one.
Jewish fire.
okay.
Okay. More, I mean,
I just need to know what else you want done for the highway department or any other of the budgets so that I can put it in my notes so I can present next week.
Give us a slot for highway garage repairs and a slot for capital purchase fund for vehicles.
Okay?
I think we really need to consider both of those very seriously.
And is that number going to be discussed this evening? Are you gonna send it to me or how's that gonna work?
What's the urgency on the truck replacement?
Well, it's what you do or don't know. According to Jim, truck number, I can't remember if
This
it's,
is 2013.
yeah, but then if you go back to truck number, I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 is the other one in there.
Yeah.
That one is really seeing some serious wear and tear to the point where it's worth replacing in the next 3 years,
Truck
probably.
4, the 97 dump truck?
No, it's truck 3, the Freightliner, that's had over
Thank you.
$19,000 in expenses this year.
Thank you, that one.
Wow, that's 20 years younger than the 97 dump truck.
You said how many thousand this year?
$19,338.88 in repairs this year.
Ouch.
The 6-wheeler, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think those are both, we have to come up with some numbers for both of those categories, because.
I think the garage, you're looking at least, I wouldn't be surprised at $400,000 just to do the repair.
So are you discussing those two numbers this evening that you want in those?
I don't
line
know that
items?
we're gonna have time.
Are you gonna email me those numbers? What are we gonna do?
Because you'd like them so you can be in the
Yeah.
presentation for next
Yeah.
week.
Right.
I would prefer to present an articulated budget, yes.
The truck, we could probably use the truck payment that we had for.
The one that's going away, we
Yeah.
could just put that right into the,
So 20,858.
Or 29,959.44, truck 7, is that what you're thinking, Marcel? That's the
Yeah.
one that's the newest one that we have.
Yeah.
Okay. So would the board like to put that dollar amount in the budget?
that 29,959?
Right, which we only,
30,000, whatever.
we're paying 49.92.51 for 26 to pay it off. So you're gonna have like
A little bit left.
24,000 left over in that line item?
Yeah, we could make that around 30,000, right?
Okay.
Okay, so you want 30,000, well, I'm not gonna put it in truck 7, I'm gonna
Right.
leave it, so.
Can you call it a capital purchase fund for vehicles? or something
I
like
call
that?
it capital investment vehicle purchase.
Perfect.
So are you saying 30,000 in that line item, or are you saying
Yes,
29
yes.
minus the 49?
I'm saying, oh, I see what you mean. We already have to make the payment.
We have to make a $4,900 payment, yes.
Yeah.
Out of a $2,900,
I'd still make the payment and just use $30,000, just for a round figure, but then we can change it if we have to.
What's the payment again? I'm sorry.
4,992. It's
Okay, so
roughly
that's 5,000. Why don't we put
25,000.
25,000 in the capital investment and 5,000 in the truck 7 payment?
well, I've got the truck 7 payment already at 49, so we're fine with that. So
Yeah.
25,000 in the
25,000.
capital investment.
Yes.
Vehicle purchase, what are you putting in the highway garage repair line item?
Well, again, going back to the surplus that we thought we voted in, what did you actually put into the surplus account for the highway garage? And we all thought it was over $100,000.
Nothing.
So again, we said earlier there was an existing building maintenance fund.
There is a building maintenance fund
Mhm.
in the reserve that has $24,000 in it.
Okay.
And I still maintain that the 75,000 gravel and 48,000 sand were paid in 2025. How do we do our cost accounting? Do we do it when we actually make the payments or when we're invoiced for them?
We
What's our
are
accrual?
we are a cash basis accounting system, no accrual.
No accrual. So cash basis means when we paid it,
Correct.
which is now, regardless of what we planned, it was a 2025 expense, which means that the surplus that should have been moved over was 112,264, whatever.
Yeah, but then you're gonna have a deficit for this year, so you're gonna wait that out.
You do have to, I mean, right now in that line item, there's a deficit.
Right, I'm wondering if we can juggle it with some other line items and maybe not have it look so bad.
Yeah,
Because if we're cash basis, then I don't really care about the 75 and the 48 until I have to reconcile the 2025 budget.
Highway garage repair, do you have a number in mind that you wanna put in that budget line item?
Did we never get any estimates at all, did we?
No,
You're gonna have to hire an architect, have plans drawn, and have it done that way, have it done the right way. Or you're never gonna get anybody to bid on that.
yeah.
I thought we could hire.
What if we call that 25,000 for now?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Call it 25,000.
25,000 might pay for the architect.
Yeah, I know.
So there is. So there is $25,000 in the line item for repairs and maintenance to the highway garage already. And historically, if that money was not used for anything, not this past year, but the year before, that money was transferred over. Is that right? That's what the $24,000 was.
Yep.
Not for 24, but in 23.
So what
We have
happened
to
in
have a line item
24?
in our warrant that said we were moving
Yeah.
any surplus over.
Well, it was that specific line item, that's how the warrant was written.
Yep.
Yeah. So that $25,000 exists in the budget already. Do you want an additional 25,000 in a separate line item? Specific to, I don't know what I just called it, highway garage repair, so. Or do you just wanna increase the repairs and maintenance line item to 50 grand?
Well, so if I'm looking at so you're saying in years past, that's what was done, but we don't have the authority to just automatically do that with whatever surplus comes from that line item this year?
No, it's typically the taxpayers are asked if they are
Okay,
accepting of a certain surplus moved to a reserve account.
because if I look at my year to date through the end of September that you sent, it looks like all that's been spent on that line item so far is $1499.23. Do you happen to have the through November?
No, that's all I have so far in that line
Okay.
item, $1499.23, and that's through mid-November. So do you wanna leave that budget number at 25,000 and then put an additional line item for 25,000, or do you just want that line item to be 50,000?
So essentially, we would be leaving that line item at 25,000, but we would also have to put an article on the town meeting warning to move the surplus from that line item into the reserve
For
account.
26. For the warrant, for the town meeting that's coming in March, yes.
I feel like that's gonna be that makes more sense to me to do it that way, unless we wanna add another 25,000, which we'd essentially be throwing, assuming all stays according to pace right now, 50,000 into that fund.
We done?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna be, but I thought we had, like you, I thought we had 100,000. 100,000+
Plus
surplus,
plus
plus
some
the
ARPA
ARPA
dollars.
funds. So I
We have
was,
27,000 in ARPA funds for the building. Remaining.
And that does need to be spent.
by the
And
end of
26.
2026.
So the 27,000 and the 24,000 is 51,000. And it looks like we can maybe move over some from,
Assuming all stays the same from this year, that would move over a little over 24,500. 23,500, excuse me.
So do we want to add, to answer this question, do we want to add?
what, I'm still on Article 18. Shall the town of Waterford vote to transfer the highway department budget surplus to the capital reserve account for future construction of the highway department building? And then, like I said, when you do the math with what was in the town report, it's $112,000.
But you're gonna have a deficit for this year.
Yes, I understand, but what the town voted on was the previous year's surplus, which was the 112.
So there was no dollar amount in that warrant article.
It said surplus of the highway.
Surplus, it could have been 1 penny. Nobody asked any questions at town meeting. Nobody asked for a dollar amount to be added to that warrant article.
But we can see with what was presented, what the surplus was.
That
We
is,
have the budget and the actual.
and that is, once again, the wrong version. That was published in the town of,
Were the right numbers eventually made available to the town?
absolutely,
Where?
in the town office.
Yeah,
Outside
they
the
were
town
told
office.
that they could,
Pick out copies of it, email copies of it.
Was it on the website?
no.
I don't think it was ever published on the website.
I don't think I ever got a copy, but now I gotta look it up and see what the surplus was.
So, do you wanna leave that line item at 25,000 and put in an additional line item at 25,000, or do you want 50,000 in that line item?
Well, we put the additional line item at 25,000. We can decide to strike it next week if need be.
Right, we need to find out what the surplus.
Actually was,
It
yeah.
does, there's.
That really makes no difference in the budget
No,
right now. It's all gonna come out of the same pot, so. It doesn't make any difference in what that surplus was. We're gonna have to pay that bill, whether we borrow from Peter, Paul, or whatever. It's just an account, it's just a numbers game.
okay, so right now, that is a different line item. So. So the highway department budget is now 898, 56208.
So you added 50,000 in.
Right, because you also want the vehicle purchase.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, forget that. Yep.
Now, by my math, if we give a cost of living to the 3 employees in the highway department, that's gonna add us another 5,000-ish in base wages, and then in overtime. Like, how did you do your overtime projection for?
I looked at the last 3 years, and I based it on that.
An average of the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I threw out the FEMA year, the 2024.
Okay, so 2022, 23, and 25.
I just looked at like from January through May in all those years. And then from November to December, that's basically when the overtime is. In the summer, there's hardly any overtime,
Mhm.
there shouldn't be any overtime.
As long as we don't work flats. So I also added a line item for the employee sign-on bonus to reflect the additional 40 hours.
This is the,
Rick,
What's the value of that?
$1,167.20.
1,167?
Yep, and 20 cents.
Was that ever voted on in open meeting?
I thought that came after the executive session. we
It
had.
wasn't, it was not in the minutes of the last meeting. You did not come out of executive session and vote that, or it was missed,
According to the minutes.
according to the
it
minutes.
was, I think the minute said.
You voted for Sean.
terms.
It did not say anything about what you were paying for the new guy for his wage and the sign-on bonus.
I think we said terms.
Said terms.
Yeah. Let me pull this up here. This would have been November 10th. Yes, November 10th, group exited executive session at 9:31. Suhay's moved to make the 2025 COLA retroactive. Motion passed. Suhay's moved to approve the offer of Rick Villeneuve, the Jason Highway Department position, per the agreed upon terms.
Okay, that has to be made public, per our policy. Salary rates, raises, bonuses, etc. are public information recorded in select board minutes and do not require confidential handling. That should have been made public.
Under state law, though, whenever there's a contract negotiation, that is protected by executive sessions. So
Yeah,
essentially
but
what needed to
You
happen
were in an
was
executive
tonight-
session. You came out and voted on it. You should have said at that time.
How do we
What the
correct it
rates
if
were.
you're correct?
So but the action was made in open meetings, so all we need to do is just update the minutes.
No, that's
Or-
fine. I'm just,
Yeah.
Is that what it takes, Marcel?
I would say that's what it would take, but
So we go back to the November 10 minutes and make that correction, and
yep, you should,
Reapprove.
it has to be in public.
so probably not in this session tonight.
All right, so we can revisit that next week.
Done deal.
Although not to say this right, but we didn't before. We didn't reveal what the terms were when we hired other employees.
It is public information though. Once they're hired, then, and they're onboarded, then anyone can go to the town office and ask.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
And the employee in
Honestly, I
question
think-
was just onboarded today. for
I
the
think
first
we
time.
withheld it so that the town of St. Johnsbury could not counter offer something better than what we offered.
Which is why it's protected under state statute.
That I
as-
agree with.
And as an action that you can keep, well, not an action, but a discussion that happens in executive session.
Well, for how long can we hold that position without public disclosure?
We'll have Will look it up.
Cost of living, you're doing 2.8?
Yeah.
Are you
We
guys
need to
assuming-
vote, we need
Yeah,
to vote on
we
that.
need to vote.
Assuming a 2.8, if we so choose, that would be an additional, by my
Okay.
math, 5,000.
Okay, so your 2.8, is it just the highway department, or is it all employees, or is it?
I'm just focusing on the highway
need
department
to get-
portion
We
now.
need to get to that item.
Yeah,
Please,
yeah, and we will let you know.
you're gonna let me know now. You're gonna have that discussion now,
This
so
is
I can
part-
work on
this
the
is-
budget.
This is part of the budget, right?
Yeah.
Also raises, if we're gonna discuss those. Are you prepared to discuss those this evening?
Yes, but I was thinking we could discuss the merits
In
executive session.
And then when we come out,
Then we would make a motion to whatever we decide.
And so you're looking at merit raises for employees, or everybody, including elected officials, or what are you?
That would be on,
Undecided.
that'd be on an employee by employee basis. That's the way it should be done regardless of who does or doesn't get a raise.
So that includes Hannah, Gavin, Marcel, Tony, Clem, David.
because,
Cost of living, yes.
because
Well, if
Marcel
we
works for you
wanted to
guys,
apply everyone.
you don't set his wages? You don't set Marcel's wages?
We don't have the authority to give him a raise.
Select board.
The select board does.
Okay. I thought because you guys are independently elected, you ran your own shows.
Marcel's an employee of the town.
But he doesn't report to the select board, he reports to you and to Deb.
We are supervisors, correct, but we don't have the authority to give him a pay raise.
Okay. I was not aware of that.
Okay,
This pay raise is independent of the wages discussion we had earlier this evening.
The wages discussion we had earlier was flatline.
Flat.
That's what the budget is flatline of current wages.
Yeah.
So seeing as how it's on the table right now and we're still under budget discussion, I so move, is that how we're doing
I
it?
move.
I move that we grant a 2.8% cost of living adjustment to all town employees and paid officials to align with the Social Security cost increase of 2.8%.
And to clarify, this is in 2026, starting with the first full pay period in
The
26?
first full pay period in January of
Okay, we're
2026.
gonna run into the same problem. Is this also gonna cover the new employee?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
I second the motion.
So, just a quick question. If the budget is voted down in March
Mhm.
and you have given this cost of living increase starting in January, how is that gonna be covered? So typically we wait for the budget to be approved in March to make sure that we have the funds and then pay retroactive.
But we still spend money January and February.
I'm just asking for clarification.
Well, the personnel policy doesn't say that it should be withheld. I'm not sure how functionally withholding a cost of living adjustment would be any different from like withholding pay entirely, because the
Or
town in theory could vote down the entire budget and say, no, we should be paying the highway department employees a salary of $1 per annum.
Right.
That's an absurd example, but
No, but we wouldn't be able to pay any of our bills were that the case, because the budget could be voted down in March.
So you're giving cost of living basically to everybody.
yes.
Yes.
That's what the motion was.
If we pass that motion, or if we, the movement,
Now you,
The motion.
the motion.
now you said also to paid elected officials outside of the ones who are on a salary, the ones who are on a stipend, that's us, the listers.
The listers are hourly,
Listers are hourly, okay,
Auditors are hourly, correct?
transfer stations hourly.
yeah. So we're the only ones on a stipend. Do we need a COLA?
No.
No.
I mean, we haven't had a raise in the 4 years I've been on the board.
Okay, because I think the motion you made includes us. So
It does?
We're not employees.
you said in paid
Paid
officials, that's technically us by virtue of the stipend.
Well, it actually hasn't been changed for 4 years. I'm not opposed to it getting increased by 2.8%, but I don't care if it is or not.
I don't either. I had forgotten we
It's a
were
very
getting
small
paid.
amount already.
What is our pay?
$1,800, but it's like 1,300 something after taxes.
I'm going to Tahiti.
On that?
Yeah, do you want to change your motion? Or are you leaving it the way it is?
Well, do you want to see if it passes at that, or if it needs to be changed?
You made the motion.
I made the motion thinking that it would cover everybody, but I wasn't thinking about us.
I would make a motion to exclude the select board from
Okay,
that.
An amendment?
Yes, and a motion to amend and exclude the select board.
okay. I'd second that.
No, you would
I can't.
say that's a friendly amendment that you agree to, and then I would second that.
Okay, that's a friendly amendment. And you seconded it?
I will. As a
Okay.
friendly amendment.
Okay.
Okay, any discussion? Now, do we have to vote separately or because it's a friendly, it's just,
No, they're all
With
incorporated.
All
with
incorporated,
amendment.
So just to be clear, the motion is to increase all employees' wages by the COLA amount 2.8% January
And
2026.
paid officials with the exception of the select board.
Yes, I read the full motion as that a 2.8% cost of living adjustment go to all in-town employees and paid officials to align with the Social Security Administration's COLA assessment, with the exception of the select board.
Sounds good.
all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Those opposed?
Was that a 5-0?
I believe so.
Hawaii.
Anything else on the budget? Anything else you need from us?
The sheriff contract, which is next, is part of the budget really too.
Well, you already made the decision, I think, last time that you were leaving it at its current $5,000 based on with negotiations
So we didn't need that?
We have to
Well, we
sign,
have to sign.
you have to sign it.
Oh, that's what it is, signing.
So you will be emailing me with
If there are any other additional raises,
wage increases so that I can incorporate it?
Yes.
I will. Okay. Is it 6:30? Sheriff contract. What's up this?
So this is just signing the
So we kept
contract.
the budget basically the same, right?
Same,
You agreed to $5,000.
It's fewer hours.
You said $5,000.
Okay.
If that is where you're going to keep it, I just need Ron's signature.
do we need a motion or do I just sign it?
It's an expenditure of money, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't believe we voted on it.
Okay.
Last meeting.
It was just more of a, that's what we agreed to verbally, we didn't.
Yes, this would
I
be
think
the
that's the
formality
case.
that's needed.
Okay,
This is for sheriff contract,
Yes.
for 5,000 for 26.
Mhm.
Okay, well then I would move that we approve the sheriff contracted hours for 2026 for $5,000.
I'll second.
okay. I don't know if this needs to be included in the motion, but it does have the officer time at the rate of $60 per hour and court time at the rate of $60 per hour.
Okay.
But 5,000 is the total.
I ain't gonna say no.
Okay, there.
It's a little over 80 hours if my math is correct.
Okay,
Mhm.
any discussion? If not, all those in favor of approving the contract with Caledonia County Sheriff's Office for 2026 for $5,000, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay,
Is there anything else you need from me this evening, or am I excused?
I don't believe so. The traffic ordinance is essentially a moot point. I think we have all the documentation we need on the, crushing.
thanks.
I know you work hard.
All right.
Okay, next up is gravel crushing contract. I should have sent it out earlier, but I was gone and then I kind of forgot about it.
Can you walk us through it?
Yeah, basically, we're using proposing using the same contract as we had last time, same. The only thing I changed for wording is the completion date of the contract, the bid opening, and, bid opening date, and I don't know, probably a bid opening date of January 12th
Our first January meeting?
is our first January meeting. That's probably too late to change the budget. Would that be accurate? I know we're approving the budget next
Right,
week,
true, I see what you mean.
but
But we're not gonna get it done
we can't
before that.
advertise it and expect bids back in a week or less.
Putting a number in and hoping that the actual bids match it, is that the game?
Yeah.
That's what's been done in the past.
A little bit scary.
And last time,
Hanging our butt out there. Can I look through that for a second, Sue?
the
This is
budgeted
the
amount
contract that he sent us.
was less than what the bids came in for.
I'm sorry, Ron, say again?
Last time,
It may make us short in other areas.
Yeah.
It comes in higher.
the bids came in higher than what we budgeted for. We could,
Wait, the bids came in higher than the 75,000 we budgeted for that year? Because if you look at, you're talking 2024, we had budgeted, gravel. We budgeted 75,000 for that. It came in over that?
no, it did come in over that, but
They came in over what we thought it was gonna be. I do remember that.
I don't know.
But we have the recent bid Is it now 2 years old? Or is
It
a year old?
is, it was bid in July, August of, I don't know, sometime in 2024.
Okay.
Uh,
Now, the material that's being crushed is still ours that we currently possess, correct?
Right,
We don't own the land.
we
Okay.
own the rights to the gravel.
I believe that's correct. And Jim feels that there's still,
But it hasn't played out yet.
it's,
Hasn't played out, and you mean there's enough material in there?
Yeah, for
Already.
another crusher too, but I mean, it's almost empty.
Because
but
that's what I heard, was that pit was nearing the end of its.
It is, but Jim checked it out and looked at the boundaries and everything and did find more area to crush.
Okay.
yeah,
But once
it's,
that plays out, the town's gonna be in big world of hurt.
Yeah, we're gonna have to buy,
Because I
purchase
think we pay
material.
10 cents per something.
we pay
Yeah.
10 cents a cubic yard for the material and
Yeah.
then
And then the
the
crushing.
crushing costs are the bulk of the cost.
Yeah.
I'm still operating without a full understanding here. The town owns the raw resource, and then the
Gravel
expense
rights.
is the process of crushing it up into usable stone,
Yes.
various sizes.
Yeah.
So somebody has to come on site to do that?
Yep.
Okay.
Last time it was, Manchester Brook. I can't remember what
Isn't
their
that what
last,
Pike does just across the road?
what's that?
Isn't crushing gravel and whatnot what Pike does just across the road?
They crush ledge.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
We
crush
could-
ledge.
they crush ledge, yeah.
Right.
We could buy material from Pike.
Right.
It would be better material, but it's a lot more expensive.
Mhm.
Uh,
And at some point in the near future, the town's gonna be in that predicament of having to buy material.
Or find another, or find another source which,
Well, I'm still curious then, what Pike has is different geologic material than what the town has access to?
yeah, they're drilling and blasting ledge, which they crush into various products.
Yeah.
Stone fill,
But
Yeah.
they're higher in elevation and supposedly in the geologic strata, so it's a different material than what we get at
we're
our site?
we're just crushing bank run gravel. It's not ledge, it's
Bank run.
bank run.
I don't know what bank run
It,
means.
it means like, you know where
If we
the
did-
fire station is?
Yeah,
Just towards Route 18 from there,
yeah,
you'll see an area where the pit is.
okay,
I mean, you can see it from the fire station.
from Duck Pond.
Yeah, from Duck Pond Road. And it's just it's a bank that has a layer of material that is
Stone and gravel.
stone, yeah, and
Oh, so this
stone.
is like a water deposit, but not a stratigraphic deposit.
Well, I don't know what stratigraphic means, but it's not ledge.
Essentially, there is material under there that we can use, but it's mixed in with dirt and a whole host of other
Okay, I got you. That's like an alluvial deposit.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, there's some of the stone in it is pretty
Usable,
large.
so it's gotta be screened out and
It has
busted
to
down
go
to
through a
size.
crusher to break it
Yeah.
down into a
I see
usable
where we're
size.
coming from. Okay, got it.
And I haven't talked with Jim, and I don't know if you have, Will, but the way we did it before is the way we did it last time. I'm not saying in the past,
Mhm.
prior to that, was we gave them two options. One was to crush it and the town would
Pick it up.
pick it up and haul it just, I mean, it's not very far down the
literally down
road.
the road.
Right.
Yeah, just down the road.
But you
and,
still have to load it and unload it then.
Right.
And
And that's the option that we ended up picking because it was less expensive, right?
I
Or did we get delivery?
I don't
Because we're
remember
putting
if-
sweat into that process, aren't we?
I should know, but I don't remember whether they delivered it. But that was a
They
two up.
did, this last crushing, the ones that did the crushing delivered the gravel to the pit there, to the,
Okay.
Yeah, because,
I think we asked for two
cause we didn't
prices.
you didn't have only two guys working
yeah, we didn't really have enough manpower,
to get everything else done and do the gravel too.
and particularly with the flooding, we really didn't have people. So, but we allowed them to bid on two different options. One where we hauled it and stockpiled it in our yard, and one where they did the whole thing. But the other option I thought of is, would you want to have a meeting just for a bid opening? Give the contractors 2 or 3 weeks to prepare their bids and have it.
It still will be too late because we have to get the finished budget. I think December 8th might be one of our last chances to change that next Monday.
Well,
They have to get it to the printers and
it doesn't go to the printer still. I should have asked that before they
yeah, I
left.
know we run out of time sooner than you think.
Well, if worse comes to worse, we can do an addendum that gets handed out after the printing.
Mm.
I hate to do it, but
Or if it's not that far off, it just sucks something else out
And that's
of the
what-
budget.
That's what happened
We
last time.
swap things all the time.
Yeah, because the line items overrun some under.
Yeah.
It's nice if you've got the thing, but if we want to just open, advertise it and open bids on the, first meeting in January, we can do that.
And what did you say we put in the budget for that? Is that the 75,000?
Will, you're at 75?
Yeah, 75,000 is the budget line item we gave. So I found last year. So crushing, so the two options we had last year were for crushing and then crushing, loading, hauling, and stockpiling in the town garage. So the one bid that the town received on the redo was Manchester Brook. Option one, which was strictly crushing, was 64,700. Option two, the crushing plus the hauling, was 84,700. You guys ended up taking option one, so 64,700 was that.
how much material was that last year, and did we have any left over?
I believe it was
It's
10,000.
We used it for the flooding.
It was 10,000 yards worth.
Very little left over.
Yeah, there's very little left over. If you go to the town garage, there's the pile where it is. That
Yeah.
used to come almost all the way up to the fence, where the
Flooding
gate
was in
opens.
24.
Jim said he used to crush every other year.
Yes.
And it would last, you would do it once, it would last 2 years.
2 years.
That did not happen because of
The
the flooding.
flooding, okay.
And, yeah, probably Jim should be consulted on this. And I don't know if you've talked with him, but maybe what I put in there for a completion date, I just took, last time, the completion date, I think, was November 1st. But he doesn't have much to use in the spring, so, he might think we need to, have a much earlier completion date.
What did you put in there?
I put
He put November 1st, which
Oh,
was
no,
the
no.
same as last
For
year.
2026, that would be way too late. It would need to be in the spring, right?
It would either need to be the spring or we're gonna be buying
Yeah.
gravel from Pike.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
but
we need to change
how early can they crush? Can they crush when the ground is frozen? Can they? No, I didn't think so.
May or June, maybe they just start crushing.
Why can't they crush when the ground is
May?
frozen?
How you gonna get it?
Because the
How you
ground
gonna
is
get it
frozen.
out of the thing, out of the bank?
So we can't even start till
but-
May. We won't get it until.
I don't know, how did they get it out of the bank? Backhoe, bulldozer?
Well, you're breaking through frozen ground. It's hard
Excavator.
to get through.
But it's gonna cost you more money because it's gonna take more time
How do you do it when the ground's not frozen?
with the bucket loader.
That's not gonna work, you're saying, if the ground's frozen, because you just have to get below the frozen layer.
Excavator, you could use an excavator, but it's gonna cost you a lot more money.
See,
It's an extra piece of equipment.
Probably. I mean, I could, Jim would probably have an idea, or I could call,
Yeah, give Jim a call and ask him.
So I spoke to Jim today,
Yep.
and he just said specs are the same as last year, needs 10,000 yards. I'll circle back with him on a deadline, but
Get a date, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think we can take for granted that the price we paid last year isn't probably the bid price we can expect this year, yeah?
Although with the flooding, it was at a premium to get someone. in to
Everybody
cross
needed it.
too, yeah,
Sure wasn't much flooding this last year.
no,
not with the drought.
So, okay, so last year, or 2 years ago, if we look at 2 years ago, the completion date was moved from September 1st to November 1st because of the mishap with the bidding process. So it sounds like the original intention was September 1st last year.
Yeah.
Not November 1st. So it should at least be September 1st if we're gonna keep it the same.
But Jim may need it earlier. And we'll be awarding it much earlier also.
yeah. Yeah,
Some of that date had to do with when we awarded the contract, Will.
Yes. Yeah, well, so the idea originally was to award the contract to have it done by September 1st, and then we had to put it out to bid again.
but even that, we're later than we would have liked to have been.
Yeah, I think.
So, yeah, I think you just ask Jim what,
What date he needs it by.
and then we can make the adjustment and probably it won't be bid opening January 12th. I mean, there's not a huge rush if we're not getting it for the budget, you know. Gonna have the information in time to put it in the budget, so if it was second meeting in January or regular meeting in March.
I hear voices downstairs. Maybe it's worth asking Deb when she expects the annual report to be published.
The annual report, it has to go to the printers before January 1st. That's the way it's always
It has
been.
to go before January 1st.
Yes.
They usually
Right.
give us a number in December that we have to have everything tidied up.
Yeah.
Ask next meeting.
Ask who?
I think they're gone anyway.
No, we can hear them downstairs.
down there?
Okay.
I don't think so. I think they're over.
We can hear them talking. They're right underneath our feet.
Stomp on the head.
No.
Traffic ordinance?
Yeah, so in the meantime, I'd make a motion to postpone discussion on this item to after agenda items for next meeting, just to give Tim a little more time.
Okay. What were we supposed to take action on tonight? What we were-
Traffic ordinance.
Well, the action on the gravel crushing, you mean, Sue?
No, the traffic ordinance.
So the traffic ordinance, all this was me looking to see if, remember there was it looked like there was a page missing, turns out it just didn't get copied.
Oh,
So Suter Road is listed in the ordinance is 35 miles an hour. So we just,
okay.
all needs to happen is a sign needs to be put up.
okay.
So it's essentially a moot point.
Should you make a motion and we
For
say to put up the Suter Road sign? Do we want to do that?
I don't know if a motion's necessary
I don't know
there
that you-
because that's
So
just
really,
let Jim know.
Jim just has to follow the traffic ordinance then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you go around town, really, there's quite a few places that signs are.
I know that Gary and Warner went around a couple of years ago and they had a very long list and that was given to Jim. I don't know where he is on getting through some of those things.
Yeah, last I looked at and put the ones up that we requested earlier this year. Okay, was anybody there?
No, just missed them.
Okay, so we're gonna postpone the advertisement of the gravel crushing contract until you can talk with Jim and
Well, so I just moved to postpone the item until after we discuss agenda items for next meeting, because I just texted him. I'm gonna see if he'll get
Oh,
back to
okay.
me.
All right,
Cause he was texting me off and on tonight.
okay, so agenda items for next meeting, obviously, budget presentation.
That's gotta be the big thing, but because it's a regular meeting, we need to have citizens' concerns.
Okay.
But I think budget's gonna take up our whole evening, don't you?
No, I think it's gonna
Tonight.
go through in 20 minutes like we planned tonight.
Yeah. Good luck.
Who set the times tonight?
I mean, what essentially do we need to handle next meeting other than the budget?
Person, optimistic.
Was that you, Sue?
No.
No, it was, oh, I'm not blaming.
No, I'm not
blaming-
either.
I'm not blaming Hannah, but
Oh.
I didn't, she said them and I didn't
Yeah.
change them, but it's,
God bless her.
but I really never expected it to be as long. I didn't think it'd be as long.
It was pretty painful.
It was painful.
Agenda items, budget, I really think that's gonna be plenty of a meeting, and unless we have a stray dog or cat, little tiny thing, I think that should really be all we do. Citizens' concerns.
Yeah.
Get them out up front so that we can focus on budget.
Okay. Says concerned, maybe approval of,
Wait a minute, what else is gonna come up? You know, there's gonna be something. Is there something we should anticipate
Well, we can always decide that over,
the next
The
couple
next couple
days?
days.
the next couple
yeah,
days.
it's not far away.
I would advise that we really don't let that schedule get things creep on that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a hard night,
Yeah, I'd like to avoid a 4-hour meeting.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And hang on, we're gonna be addressing the gravel contract issue next week.
The completion date, right?
Oh. Yeah, we probably,
Yeah,
we could do it next week.
Yeah,
okay.
Cause that shouldn't
And
take
then
a
we
lot of time.
and then we could get that out and they'd still have a month to get us an answer in January.
Yep, they would. Yep.
Okay. So we'll move that, but let's have that be a 5-minute item.
5 minutes.
Well, if Jim tells us a completion date, Ron's already got the contract written, so.
Fair enough, okay.
Okay.
And then I make a motion that we enter executive session.
Wait a minute, wasn't that just one other thing that we were, bonus, wage increases?
That's an executive
That's
session.
That's
We're gonna
executive session, we're
discuss
gonna discuss.
All right,
the
all right,
merits.
you make a motion, I second.
All those in favor of going into executive session for personnel matters, say aye.
it.
Aye.
Those opposed?
We entered at 8:22 PM.
8:22 PM.
I
Alright.
need to stretch my legs.
I have to turn off the live stream.
Yeah.